Page 16, the Blue Danube. We're moving around a little more and getting our fingering is a little more advanced fingering style, and I have some fingering suggestions because there's more than one way to finger things. You never know. One fingering might help in one piece, another fingering might help in another. Let's look it over. It's about a page long. Clef signs are still treble and bass clef. There are no sharps or flats in the key signature, so this is in the key of C major. Go ahead and do the scales for C major and A minor, both. 3/4 time signature. I'll take it one hand at a time. The left hand isn't too bad, it's the right hand that's going crazy. So let's see what we have. According to the fingering they're suggesting, this is what it is. Here, this 1, and that's 5. And this is fine. You need to be able to do this from 5. We're simply changing hand positions on a repeated note. We do that a lot. That's fine, because that way you can just reach up for the E's, and then here, because now you're in this position. And then coming back down, they say 2-1. I kind of like that. I like using different fingers on repeated notes. Some people don't. They would use thumb on both of those C's there in the last couple measures. And then an F and a G, reach up, and then 1-4, and then you come down, a 2-1 again. This is a B now. Reach out, and then up here, this is kind of what this is doing. Let's go down to the last 2 lines. Well, the last line, but I'm going to start a measure before the last line. So you're up here, and then 4, and then they want a 2-1, F sharp, and the E. You reach up, that's 3 ledger lines above, remember that's an E, you need to know that note. And then a 3, reach thumb, I'm going to connect these, then a 2. And the last measure, they don't give any other fingering but 1. And you can use thumb on all of them if you'd want, but we've been using different fingers on them before, so why not do a 1, 2, 1. 1, 2. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 3. Yes, I'm going to do a 1, 2, 1. Now just briefly. Another type of fingering you can try, and that may help in some cases, is like at the beginning here. Rather than using this fingering for this chord, we stretch out, we use this kind of fingering. It's like an extended fingering where you go out to the octave and then use 2 and 3. So I'm using that for the chord. And then when I get there, I'm going from 3, 1. So here, there's another way to do these. Rather than 1, 3, 5, I can do a 1, 2, 3. Here, try each one. You need practice at this one. This 5-1, so I'm not saying let's change it. I'm simply saying there is another one and you can experiment with it. Let's look at the left hand. It's just broken chords. A C chord, in the lines 5-7 chord, G7. The second line in the middle there, it's the same chord, you're just going here because there's 4 notes in that chord. We're just not using all 4 at the same time. We're going here. Third line down, 3rd measure, or 4th measure actually, it's here, and it's here. And then scrunch up 5. We changed hand positions. The rest come down. Let's again scrunch up again. Now it's F. And then they want a 4-5. I kind of like that, yeah. And you could use 5 on both, but it's good practice too. Here. Put the heads together. Now when I first put the heads together, I hesitate all over. I don't care. I just want to know how the fingers are working. It's these. Now make sure you lift up for the rest in the right hand. So forth. I go through the whole thing with the fingers, very slowly and carefully, and then go back through and work out the hesitations. Now once I can play it slowly at least with no hesitations, then I'll think about the articulation. We have slurs and staccatos. Here, connect. You You can pretend the slur is over all those, up to the half note. We can't slur to, but try to. Pretend you can. And then staccato, I'm hinging at the wrist, bum, bum. See, there's a contrast between the connected and the staccatos. In the left hand, we're just doing chuck chucks through most of it. Chuck chuck, connect the first two notes, and then you can't connect the others. Chuck. See, and this is tricky, because now you're doing different things in the hands at the same time. Look at the second measure here. You're here, and here, here. And the next measure, it's, I'm connecting that, but that's staccato. So this is weird. It's just a weird feeling. So go as slow as you got to. Don't use staccato in the left hand because you did in the right. No, we've got to be able to do different things in the hands, and this will be a challenge on this piece, to be able to do this and this at the same time. And if you can, go ahead and play these staccatos in the left hand if you have to. They're not marked staccato, but it's a challenge just to connect the first notes. That alone, but if you need to do staccatos, then that's fine. That's a challenge to do that. That's a strange feeling. Now get down to the fourth line. When you're here, you're going to connect this. Connect all that together. See, the slur is only all across the one measure. No, pretend it goes across both measures here. There's a staccato in the left hand, and now I'm connecting this, and I've got to do the chuck chuck in the left hand, the last line. And I would slur that last line all together. Those they got different slurs in there. Connect it, just connect it. Just connect it until the last measure. So I'll get an idea of the articulation, of the expression, and then I'll think about the dynamics. That applies to the melody, which is in the right hand. It's soft. Piano for soft. These need to be a little softer. This is the melody. We want to hear that. This other stuff, just keep it in the background. Maybe you could consider it part melody, but to me, it's in the background. Listen to the orchestras play this piece. You get an idea of it. It's just soft. The left hand needs to be very soft. It's in the background. And on the third line down, this is the third measure from the end. You get a crescendo. So we're going to go from soft to loud, but you don't want to be loud until the next line. And the F, in my opinion, is in the wrong place. These things aren't the loud part. It's this. That half note. In the third measure, that's where the F should be. That's what should be loud. They don't always put the dynamics and things exactly where they go. You have to kind of, what does the music need? And then immediately you're soft again. And you're going to end it soft. I tend to get a little louder there in the last line. Get up there and then come down. Now I tend to end it a little louder than what they're suggesting. But again, these dynamics are suggestions. You get into it and you feel it. And how do you feel the dynamics should be? But that crescendo in the third line, you have to plan that out. Because if you don't, you'll be loud by the end of the third line. And that's too soon. So what we have is we have these musical motifs. Or a set pattern, a few notes that is a pattern, a musical pattern like at the beginning. And it keeps, there's all over the place. It's a musical motif. Well, I'm going to just take each of these motifs and just play each one a little louder. So in the third line, you're starting out soft. Where the crescendo is, I'm still soft here, and I'm just going to go up a little bit. Here. Now a little louder. Now I'm loud. See, you plan it out a little bit. It's not done one note at a time. It might be done a few notes at a time, or a musical motif at a time, or a measure at a time, or a few measures at a time. It depends on what the music needs. But you plan out the crescendo to make it last, so you don't change too soon. As far as the speed goes, tempo de waltz, it's just the waltz tempo, just a nice gentle waltz. Well, 1, 2, 3. Remember the natural accents. 1, 2. Exaggerate them if you need to. The left hand will help here because it'll boom, boom, boom. You want to feel these all the way through. So you go ahead and get it learned, and once you can play it at least slowly with no hesitations, and then come back to the video and let's play it together, because I put the starting point of the play with me in the description of every video, so you can go right to it when you need it. Just check that you have the right notes and the right rhythms. I'm not going to do louds and softs. I'll do the slurs and staccatos. I'll give us 3 counts. Just one hand at a time if you need to. 1, ready, go. Rest. Two.